So I have one of these like black iron pipe toilet paper holder things, kind of like hipster toilet paper holder. And it's mounted to drywall, but it's really, really loose. You can see how it wiggles back and forth. Um, and the issue is I don't have a stud behind the wall in this particular area. Now on the right and the left, I just have screws screwed right into the drywall, which obviously those aren't going to hold much. Top and bottom, I put drywall anchors. And I didn't want to put a whole bunch of drywall anchors because the drywall in this particular area, you can see over here on the right, is one side of the original toilet paper holder. The other side is underneath this flange. And so the drywall integrity is not really great. There's no stud there, and I needed a better solution to do this. So here's what I did. Now, the first thing I need to do is get this pipe flange removed from the wall. So I just pulled all 4 screws out. The screws top and bottom are a little longer than the ones on the sides because those are the ones in drywall anchors. So you can see here the 4 holes. I've got the drywall anchors top and bottom, and then side to side just the regular holes. Now the area in the middle, again, you can see was where the original toilet paper roll holder was at. Now you can see here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put, I need to get across. I need to find the exact center of these 4 holes. So this is where it would be a little bit different. If you were doing this from scratch, you would just hold the flange up on the wall where you wanted it, mark all 4 holes, and then mark the very center. So you would do it really similar, but without the holes already there. So once I've done that, I can determine that I need a hole saw, which is what I'm going to use next. And that hole saw needs to be somewhere in the 1.5 to 1.25 inch range. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these drywall anchors. I don't need those anymore, so I'm just using a pair of pliers to do that. And then I'm going to use my hole saw. I'm using a 1 3/8 inch hole saw, which is really the perfect size for this particular pipe flange. You just don't want it so big that it goes into the that it interferes with the holes for the screws. I'm going to remove this plug out of the hole saw, and I'm going to save that, and we're going to reuse that little plug later. We're going to put it back in place. Now with that all complete, I've cut a couple pieces of 1/4 inch plywood. You could probably use something like a paint stir stick or something like that as well, but I'm essentially going to put those inside the wall like that. They just need to be narrow enough to where you can fit them through this hole. That's very important. Now I'm going to be using both of these with some hot glue to hold them in place, but I need a way to hold them and pull them back towards me from through this hole. So I'm using a piece of string. This is about a 3-foot piece of string, and I've folded it in half, and I'm simply looping it through itself around the center of this stick or of this little piece of plywood. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that string to help hold it in place while the glue sets. Now this next piece is a little bit tricky, but not terrible. So I'm going to put some hot glue on both ends, not in the center. I don't want it in the center at all. I just want it on the ends. And now while that glue is still liquefied, I'm going to shove this stick all the way inside the wall there. And once that's all the way through, I'm going to kind of use my finger and pull on the string to hold it in place. Now you notice I have it diagonal going across the top hole and the right hole. And I'm just going to hold it for a few seconds to give that a chance to dry. Afterward, I'm just using the screwdriver to undo the string, and I'm going to go ahead and pull my string back free, and that's all done and in place. Now the second one, you're going to do exact same way you did the first one. The main difference being you've got a little bit less room to work with. So it takes a little bit more finagling. It's a little trickier to get it to line up, but you essentially want to get it parallel to the other one. So once you have that done, I'm just using that string and I'm just holding it in place until that glue has a chance to set. And once that has set, I'm going to go ahead and remove this string. Now I'm going to grab that plug that I had before, and I'm going to go ahead and hot glue that and just shove that plug back in place. With that done, go ahead and pre-drill. I'm using a 9/64 drill bit, and take your time here. Don't shove it so that you pop that stick loose on the backside. But drill out all 4 holes with a 9/64 drill bit, which is just the right size for those number 12 screws. Now, using the number 12 screws, these are about 1 inch long a piece. I'm now using 4 that are all the same length. I'm just going to simply screw these all into the holes that I pre-drilled. I'm not going crazy with the impact gun here, just barely snug. And then I'm coming back with a screwdriver, and by hand I just want to make sure they're nice and snug, all 4 of them. Well, there you have it. Now that those are tight, this thing is actually really strong. I can yank on it pretty hard. It doesn't move at all. I mean, I wouldn't use this to hold any substantial amount of weight, but for this type of application, this is perfect, and it's way stronger than drywall anchors. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.